Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hey everybody, and welcome back. I'm glad you're here for week number 2 of Monorail Monday. This is where we're going to tell some cast member stories, some behind the scenes funs, jokes, pranks, a little bit of silliness while I was a cast member at Walt Disney World in the 90s, as well as maybe a little bit of Universal and or Dollywood's fun sprinkled in there along the way. So let's turn things over to our voiceover lord.
Episode 2. What's my name?
As you all know, all Walt Disney World cast members wear name tags. Even the supervisors wear name tags. A lot of people expect that the cast members are always wearing their actual name tags. Hey, Jeff on the Small World was lovely. We loved Jeff. Every once in a while, when we would show up for costuming, either we had lost our name tag or the pin had been broken and you needed a replacement. Sometimes they don't have your name. Sometimes you don't want your name back. In this case, you just would get handed a box of name tags and you kind of picked whatever you want. I always went for something very exotic if possible. So anyway, here I have one of my name tags. And you were at this time we'd started putting hometowns or places you lived. So everybody started making up stuff. Intercourse, Pennsylvania was probably the most popular hometown or places you've lived that any cast member, all cast members, it probably was the #1 place because everybody wanted to be, haha, I'm from Intercourse, Pennsylvania. It's a real place, but hardly anybody was actually from there. So in this case, I put Miami. I once lived there. And look, it actually says Bill. Yep, that's my name. But it gets boring wearing Bill all the time. So I thought, well, let's jazz it up a little bit. How about Mr. Bill? That sounds like a lot more fun. I actually got chastised for this one. We don't call everybody by Mr. Mr. this, Mr. that. We call everybody Walt, Buddy, Joey, Jeff, Cindy. We don't use last names. I explained to my manager, Mr. Bill is sort of a nickname. Some guy might go by Buzz. I went by Mr. Bill. Kind of, maybe you know this Saturday Night Live. Oh no, Mr. Bill. I was told I needed to get this removed immediately and go get another name tag. All right, I'm game. So I got to go back to costuming and get another name tag. No, Bill does not go back and get Chris or Steve. I found this one, Stacy. So Stacy can be a guy's name too. So I wore that. I got in trouble for this one too. Not a lot of trouble, little minor trouble. But yeah, you can't wear that. That's a girl's name. You got to get a guy's name. So later I got Jackie. I don't have Jackie with me, but I was told you got to stop doing this. You have to get a real name tag. Jackie is not a man's name. I read it off. Jackie Gleason, Jackie Robinson. I mean, there's a whole bunch of Jackies out there who are guys, who are great people. I was told still must be removed. So I ended up with a regular name tag. Fred. So I got Fred. You know, and Fred's fun. But it's not something I want to stick with long term. So one of the things that happened when cast members would become injured and you had to wear a band-aid or a splint or a sling or anything like that, that was not permitted on stage. You could not wear anything like that on stage. I had a finger that was completely bandaged up once from an accident in monorails, and I was light duty for a week. So one of the things they used to do was they would send us to name tag duty. Basically, you would just go and make name tags constantly. We always got excited when somebody got sent to light duty and doing name tags. Yes, yes. Because that meant it's time to start getting creative and stop looking in the boxes for name tags. I was a Star Trek fan, so I happened to order up a few like this. Data, Star Trek The Next Generation. I also wore Spock. I didn't get in trouble for wearing Spock. I also got Worf. And if you look closely, he sort of fudged all the letters in the bottom. So it doesn't look like it's Klingon. It's the best he could do carving out the letters. He just ran a bunch of letters together so it looks Klingon, like that's my Klingon hometown. A lot of guest compliments on this one. I was also a bit of a Blues Brothers fan, so Elwood. I also had a Jake, and it would be funny if two of us wore on Jake and Elwood. That would always get a few laughs from guests. Is that your real name? Yes, yes it is. But I had two favorites that I really like to wear that were a little bit different. One, I don't have all my name tags. I just have a handful of name tags from my days at Disney. But one of them that I really like to wear was Ahmed. Because people would look at me and they'd kind of be very quizzical and they'd be afraid to ask, is that really your name? They just weren't sure because I didn't look like an Ahmed and they were just afraid to ask. So I liked wearing that one. That was always a good time. My real favorite was this one, Norbert. I loved wearing Norbert. People just could not believe that this was my name. And yet I told them it was. Every once in a while, a guest compliment would roll in for Norbert. I did not get credit for it. Even if I showed them my name tag, they did not give me credit for the guest compliment because no, Norbert got that compliment, not you, Bill. So, sometimes you live by the fake name tag and you die by the fake name tag. I like to have a lot of different ones. There were a lot other crazy weird ones. I had 4 of the Beatles, but you know the names were kind of the same. So you know, not as exciting if you're going out just wearing a name tag that says John. Not nearly as much fun as if you're wearing a name tag that says Ahmed or Norbert. I had many more different name tags made up over the time that I was working there. I don't have all of them anymore, but Norbert was always one of my favorites. I loved wearing that. I loved getting into a conversation with people. Oh, well, what's the story? Why did you get that name? And I would go into this elaborate conversation about my relatives, you know, my long-lost grandpappy, Norbert, who fought in the war, and they really liked his name, and I had just really embraced it. People loved it. I also have a couple of Universal name tags, but Universal had a little bit tighter control on their name tags at the time. Universal name tags are pretty normal. I got William here, and I have Bill. Not too terribly exciting. I wore these while doing some crowd control, a little bit of different things at Universal as well as Jaws. I worked at Jaws as a skipper. There'll be some stories coming with Universal very soon. One of my cast member buddies used to always get some sort of Spanish name. He always tried to go for like Carlos, Eduardo, Jorge, or something like that. And then he would just, every once in a while, when he was in a mood, he would just speak Spanish at the turnstiles. So people would come up and try and ask him questions, and he would just start speaking Spanish. And they'd start walking away going, why didn't they put somebody who spoke English here at this turnstile? So don't forget, we've got regular videos coming up on Thursday. The next Monorail Monday will be on, you guessed it, Monday. We got 4 more of these stories coming, and then we'll see what happens after that. Regular videos coming. We got some beach stuff. There's some more amusement parks coming. So that's it for episode number 2 of Monorail Monday. The next episode, episode 3, comes next week with A Car to Ourselves. We'll see what that's about. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, leave a comment below. What name tag would you get if you were at Walt Disney World besides your regular name? Anybody can get their regular name. Wearing your regular name on stage is boring. It's wearing the clever names and wearing them well that's fun. So remember, kids, have a good time all the time.